Hundreds of feet above the ground, in winds exceeding 50 miles per hour, a technician works inside a nacelle no larger than a school bus, inches from systems carrying 33,000 volts. Between 2012 and 2016, falls accounted for nearly 80% of all fatalities in the wind energy sector. This is the dangerous world these workers step into every shift, and it starts the moment they begin to climb. On land, a wind turbine is a massive vertical machine, with towers rising 80 to 120 meters and blades exceeding 45 to 66 meters. Offshore, hub heights regularly reach 150 meters, supporting blades that extend 80 meters or more. This structure acts as a series of stacked danger zones. Inside the steel columns, a vertical ladder or a small service lift leads to the nacelle. This enclosed pod resting at the very top houses a compact, high-voltage powerhouse. Inside this confined space sit the gearbox, the generator, and high-voltage switchgear operating at up to 33 kilovolts. Before any physical maintenance can begin, weather parameters act as strict gatekeepers. Standard guidelines dictate that climbing must halt if winds exceed 10 to 12 meters per second. For specialized external blade repairs, the working window drops even lower to between 6 and 10 meters per second. At sea, operations face additional constraints, with transfers typically suspended when wave heights exceed 1.5 meters. Every shift, technicians operate within these physical limits, working within a structural system where height, high voltage, and tight spaces intersect with the unpredictable forces of nature. Every standard maintenance shift begins on the ground, long before anyone touches a ladder. Technicians assemble at the Site Control Center for the pre-job safety briefing, reviewing daily tasks, local wind forecasts, and isolating specific hazards. Here, the supervisor issues a written permit to work, establishing the legal and operational boundaries of the day's mission. Next comes the physical inspection of life support gear. Technicians check every stitch on their full body harnesses, look for hairline fractures and carabiners, inspect lanyards, and verify emergency descent rescue kits. Any trace of wear means immediate replacement. As one veteran technician explains, in this job you cannot improvise. If you skip a step on the checklist, even something as simple as checking a carabiner gate, you might not come home. The routine is what keeps you alive when you are working 300 feet in the air. With gear approved, the climb begins. Inside the dark steel column, technicians scale the vertical ladder, permanently secured to a steel cable via a self-retracting lifeline that locks automatically in a fall. Reaching the nacelle at the top, the first priority is electrical isolation. Technicians apply physical locks and tags to high-voltage circuits, then use a multimeter to verify a zero-energy state. Only then does the physical labor start. Work inside the tight pod includes pulling gearbox oil samples, replacing worn sensors, and torquing massive structural bolts. Once tasks are complete, the process reverses an exact, disciplined sequence. De-isolation, removing lockout-tagout locks, descending the tower ladder under fall protection, and conducting an end-of-shift debrief to log all anomalies. Standard onshore technicians keep the turbine's internal heart beating, focusing on mechanical and electrical maintenance within the steel tower and nacelle. But when the outer skin of the structure requires attention, the work demands a highly specialized discipline: rope access. These specialists descend along the exterior of the massive blades using a dual rope system, maintaining constant rescue readiness while suspended hundreds of feet in the air. Suspended in a 4-point harness, you realize the tower is not your safety net. You rely entirely on your dual rope setup and your partner's ability to pull you up if something goes wrong. There is no ground beneath you, only air. At sea, the challenge shifts from vertical suspension to maritime logistics. Offshore crews face grueling transits by crew transfer vessels, massive service operation vessels, or helicopters. Here, maintenance scheduling is fragile, dictated entirely by wave heights and deep sea weather. When you are fatigued after a 2-hour vessel transit in rough seas, the pressure to climb is immense because a missed window means the turbine stays offline for weeks. But if the waves exceed 2 meters, you have to abort, regardless of the financial loss. These logistical realities divide the workforce, ensuring that every technician is matched precisely to the environment they must conquer. Documented safety records provide a clear picture of these physical risks. The United States Bureau of Labor Statistics recorded, in 2024, a fatality rate of 1.2 deaths per 100,000 worker hours for wind turbine technicians. By comparison, solar installation maintains a lower rate of 0.3, and conventional power generation stands at 0.8. Only the offshore oil and gas sector, with a rate of 4.5, represents a higher statistical risk among major energy sources. These numbers establish a clear pattern of danger, with falls remaining the most common threat. A study of renewable energy occupations found that falls accounted for 80% of industry fatalities between 2012 and 2016. On April 24, 2024, this pattern claimed another life when a contracted technician fell to his death inside a tower during a routine bolt replacement shift on a United States wind farm. The incident showed the distinct difficulties of safe movement within the tight, vertical confines of the tower structure. Heights represent one part of the danger, but mechanical hazards inside the towers present separate risks. In May 2024, the United Kingdom's Health and Safety Executive issued an urgent bulletin after a service lift accident. A technician's hand was crushed against a landing gate because the external controls were mounted directly on the moving carriage. The regulatory response exposed a systemic lack of standardized safeguards on internal lift designs across different turbine manufacturers. At sea, the environment intensifies these numbers. An offshore sector snapshot spanning 2024 and 2025 detailed 1 fatality, 99 lost workday injuries, 57 restricted workday injuries, and 74 medical treatment injuries. These documented accidents reveal the heavy physical demands placed on the workforce keeping clean energy moving. The financial baseline for taking on these risks is substantial. In May 2024, the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics recorded a median annual wage of $62,580 for wind turbine technicians. Compensation scales directly with safety exposure and skill level. Entry-level workers start in basic apprenticeships, progress to junior roles, and eventually to senior technicians or team leads. Those specializing in rope access or offshore transfer positions command the highest salary bands, boosted by hazard pay, overtime, and remote work premiums. Workers are also drawn to the appeal of hands-on engineering, long-term career stability, and a belief in driving the clean energy transition. This pool of talent must expand rapidly as industry employment is projected to grow by 49.9% by 2034. The safety framework begins with Global Wind Organization Basic Safety Training. Technicians must master this baseline before progressing to advanced rescue and blade repair modules. For external rope work, technicians maintain renewal-based IRATA and SPRAT certifications. Underneath these credentials lies a strict operational protocol: confined space rescue planning, on-site first aid, medevac readiness, and an active incident reporting culture. While drones, predictive monitoring, and digital twin systems reduce some high-altitude exposure, they cannot replace human climbs. This makes scaling worker protections urgent. The pending BSEN 8144 service lift standard arrives as the Global Wind Energy Council reports 106 gigawatts of cumulative installed capacity, representing 40% year-on-year growth. With projections reaching 200 gigawatts by 2030, and the International Energy Agency estimates that wind will supply 15% of global electricity, standardized safety systems are the only way to protect the workers driving this expansion. As the world demands cleaner power, the transition relies on more than just technology. It depends on the quiet resolve of those working in the sky. Their labor powers our future, reminding us that clean energy is ultimately built by human hands. Subscribe for more stories of modern industry.